Imagine waking up every day surrounded by murderers, gang lords, and war criminals, where survival depends not on justice, but on fear. These are not just prisons, they are hell on earth. Welcome to the 10 most dangerous prisons in the world. Across the globe, prisons are designed to hold society's most dangerous individuals. But in some corners of the world, the walls are not enough to keep chaos from thriving. Overcrowding, corruption, riots, and inhumane conditions have transformed certain facilities into places far worse than the crimes committed. Today, we take you inside the world's most notorious prisons, where brutality rules, hope is scarce, and freedom is nothing but a distant dream. Number 10. Black Dolphin Prison, Russia. Black Dolphin Prison, located in the western part of Russia near the town of Solvychegorsk, is often called one of the most secure facilities in the world. It was constructed between 1996 and 1997 to house some of Russia's most notorious criminals. The prison is notable for its high security measures, including 4 fences topped with razor wire, motion detectors, and guard towers at every corner. But it is the inmates that make this prison so scary. Serving life sentences, the prisoners are kept in solitary confinement for 23 hours per day. They are only let out for an hour to exercise in a fenced courtyard. Prisoners wear special clothing while outside their cells, which prevents them from hanging themselves or taking their own lives. And it seems to be working because since the prison opened, no one has ever successfully escaped. Black Dolphin holds some of the most heinous criminals, including murderers, rapists, and terrorists. Some of the names include Mikhail Popkov, the Siberian serial killer who murdered more than 50 women, and Alexander Pitkovich, who led a gang of thieves and murdered several people. Not even the guards can walk around freely. They must be accompanied by armed soldiers. There is also an inner prison within Black Dolphin called the Cheesecake, which houses the most dangerous inmates. This is where all the death row inmates are held, and they have been known to spend 24 hours a day in solitary confinement. Number 9. La Sabaneta Prison, Venezuela. La Sabaneta Prison, located in the northwest of Caracas, Venezuela, is considered one of the most violent and corrupt prisons in the world. It has a capacity of 600 inmates, but during the peak of overcrowding, the prison housed over 6,000 inmates. Inmates slept in shifts to allow others to try and get some rest. Fights were common due to the lack of space and resources. As a result, many prisoners formed gangs to protect themselves. These gangs controlled different parts of the prison and fought each other for power and dominance. The prison was notoriously overcrowded and unsanitary, with inmates sleeping in shifts to allow others to try and get some rest. There was also a severe shortage of food and medical care, which contributed to the spread of diseases such as tuberculosis and malaria. Conditions in La Sabaneta got so bad that in 2004, the Venezuelan government launched Operation Freedom to transfer the inmates to other prisons. However, many of the inmates refused to leave as they felt safer inside the prison than outside. The government then decided to demolish the prison and build a new one in its place. Number 8. Tadmor Prison, Syria. Tadmor Prison in Syria is a former military prison that operated from 1980 to 2013. Little is known about the prison as it was highly secretive and access to it was restricted. During its operation, the prison was infamous for its brutal treatment of prisoners, many of whom were political dissidents or those who opposed the regime of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Inmates were subjected to torture, including beatings, electric shocks, and sexual abuse. It was also said that prisoners were forced to eat dogs and cats, which were killed in front of them. At one point, the prison held over 15,000 prisoners, many of whom were crammed into cells designed for 100. A massacre occurred in the prison in 2005 when Syrian soldiers reportedly killed hundreds of inmates after a riot broke out. Despite its horrific reputation, the prison remained in operation until 2013 when it was finally closed down and the inmates were transferred to other facilities. Number 7. Rikers Island, United States. Rikers Island is a 416-acre island located in the East River in New York City that serves as a major jail complex for the city. It consists of several facilities which house inmates awaiting trial or serving short sentences. However, it's not just the inmates that make Risco Island so dangerous. The staff has been known to engage in corruption and abuse of power. There have been numerous reports of inmate mistreatment, including excessive force and sexual abuse. The island has also seen multiple riots and other forms of violence among inmates and between inmates and corrections officers. In 2019, a 16-year-old inmate committed suicide in his cell after being left without any guards for up to 5 hours. With its history of violence, abuse, and neglect, It's clear why Rikers Island is considered one of the most dangerous prisons in the world. Number 6. Carandiru Penitentiary, Brazil. The Carandiru Penitentiary, located in São Paulo, Brazil, was a menace prison that was considered one of the most violent and overcrowded prisons in the world. Built in 1920, the prison was originally meant to hold 200 inmates, but at its peak housed over 6,000 inmates in a single facility. This led to extreme overcrowding, with inmates sleeping in shifts to allow others to try and get some rest. The prison was also plagued by corruption and understaffed, which led to rampant violence and abuse among inmates and between inmates and guards. On October 2, 1992, a riot broke out in the prison that resulted in the deaths of 111 inmates. The incident was later investigated, and it was found that the guards had used excessive force and possibly committed human rights violations. The Brazilian government then decided to close down the prison and transfer the inmates to other facilities. The site of the former prison now houses a museum and memorial dedicated to the victims of the 1992 riot. Number 5. Alcatraz, United States. Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary, also known as The Rock, is a former prison located on an island in the San Francisco Bay. It was constructed in the 19th century and served as a military fort before being converted into a prison in 1934. The prison was considered one of the most escape-proof facilities in the world due to its remote location and strong currents around the island. But there were still attempts made. Over the years, 14 inmates attempted to escape from Alcatraz, but all of them were caught or presumed dead. The prison was also notorious for its harsh conditions, with inmates spending 23 hours a day in solitary confinement. In 1963, Alcatraz closed down due to high maintenance costs and the prison was demolished. Today, all that remains is the foundation, and visitors can explore the cell blocks and other areas of the former prison. Number 4. Diyarbakir Prison, Turkey. Diyarbakir Prison, located in southeastern Turkey, was a notorious jail that was notorious for its harsh conditions and brutal treatment of prisoners. Built in the 1960s, the prison was meant to hold 350 inmates, but at one point held over 4,500 inmates, leading to extreme overcrowding. Inmates slept in shifts to allow others to try and get some rest, and violence and abuse were rampant. In 1996, a riot broke out in the prison that resulted in the deaths of several inmates. The prison was then closed down and renovated to meet European human rights standards. The Turkish government also built a new prison in the area, which opened in 2009. Number 3. San Pedro Prison, Bolivia. San Pedro Prison, located in Bolivia, was once the scene of unspeakable horrors. It was a notorious jail that was infamous for its inhumane treatment of prisoners. Overcrowding was a major problem in the prison, with inmates living in filth and squalor. There were also reports of torture and abuse by prison guards. The situation was so dire that in 2013, the Bolivian government decided to close down the prison and move the inmates to other facilities. Since then, the prison has been demolished and the site is now used as a park and museum to commemorate the victims of the prison's abuses. Number 2. Bang Kwang Central Prison, Thailand. Bang Kwang Central Prison, located in Thailand, is one of the most notorious prisons in the country and is known for its extremely harsh conditions. It was originally built to house 400 inmates, but now holds over 6,000, making it one of the most overcrowded prisons in the world. The prison is notorious for its inhumane treatment of prisoners, with many inmates reporting torture and abuse at the hands of guards. The prison also has a death row where inmates are kept in solitary confinement awaiting execution by lethal injection. In recent years, the Thai government has come under fire for the conditions in Bang Kwang Central Prison and has been urged to improve the treatment of inmates. However, despite the criticism, the prison continues to operate much like it always has. Number 1. La Modelo Prison, Colombia. La Modelo Prison, located in Bogotá, Colombia, is widely regarded as one of the most dangerous prisons in the world. It has been infamous for its extreme overcrowding, violence, and inhumane conditions. Originally built to house 5,000 inmates, the prison has at times held over 20,000 inmates, leading to unimaginable levels of overcrowding. Inmates were forced to sleep while standing, and there was a constant risk of violence and gang warfare. The prison was also notorious for its filthy conditions, with inmates having to drink contaminated water and use the same cells for toilets. The Colombian government has since invested in improving the prison conditions and reducing overcrowding. However, La Modelo still remains one of the most dangerous prisons in the world. Which of these prisons shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss the mysteries we uncover here on Shadows and Spotlight.